game number 1 between Geek Fam and T1 is upon us. Should be a real fun one. Of course, it's very hard to pick the winner of this series before the match really starts.
Holy moly!
Both these teams have been looking really good over these group stages. Geek Fam especially, however, currently undefeated in the groups.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, T1 have done themselves everything to start the game off, though, however. They drafted well, they're playing solid lanes, nothing too ridiculous. And they did this miracle Night Stalker before, but the last time they ran out of damage. So what have they done? Back to the drawing board, double down on the damage, and now they have this ridiculous wombo combo on the rest of their team. I much prefer this than what they did with the 2 semi-carries last time.
Whiteman?
What is that?
Just gonna hit the Roshan. He's gonna go for it again. He's not done. Hit the Roshan again.
Roast me all you want, but I reckon this is the silliest thing I've seen. Packet loss. This is an odd way of saying packet loss is how you hit Roshan, but obviously there's always going to be a few ping issues when we have multiple C teams, China teams are all versing each other.
My goodness.
We've been pretty good so far this tournament, haven't we? Oh my god, what is happening?
That's a Roshan. He has a spear through him or something.
From that angle, it kind of looks like the baby Roshans they gave out. Like, it's much more miniature.
It's kind of sad to think that Roche has to continuously live his life with all these swords and spears through his body. It's not very nice, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I reckon they should do like a cosmetic change. Every time he dies, he gets more battle hardened.
Yeah?
So, like, you know, they obviously give him items. They should make him look more weary every time he dies.
Do you work for Valve or something? That's such a great idea.
Oh, I'm full of great ideas, Valve. If you want to hire me, I'll just give you free consultation on all the things to fix Dota. Most of them are clowny. But I feel like, as a fan of Dota, everyone has these silly opinions, things that they can fix on. What's yours? What's your, like, random silly fact or opinion that you want to see in Dota?
Oh, I actually don't have one on me, Poglet, but I don't mind any more Earth Spirit buffs. If you want to keep just buffing this one hero, and by the way, that's one thing I do want to see. Where's the Earth Spirit cosmetics? How many treasures have we opened without an Earth Spirit cosmetic yet?
Which is strange, right? He's such an easy hero to fix up. Like, he even has a totem that creates just a stone version of him in-game.
Yeah.
They could do so many things to the hero, you're right. But unfortunately, you're going to have to settle with no nurse for the most previous patch.
And unfortunately for Roshan, he's going to have to take another hit from Whiteman.
This is going to be the earliest Roche ever. You know, stuff the 20 health regen. Whiteman's going to take this.
He's getting there eventually. Get in there, son. One more. Well done. I'm actually trying to figure out if there's anything to what Whiteman's doing right now, or whether he is just getting his APM up before the game really starts, and he'll leave the Roshan be now. So there is going to be a bit of a scuffle over the top bounty rune. Miracle going to run in with Polison. Bit of a blinding light out, but that's going to be it.
Just a touch too early on Polison. Obviously, Miracle couldn't commit to that rune, but it still takes a bit of damage here and there.
Nice little throw up from Zephyr. Of course, Carl's going to be in that mid lane as the Quap. And he should be up against the Magnus of In Your Dream. We've seen In Your Dream playing a lot of Magnus as of late, as has everyone else, basically. But he's been doing a great job on this hero. It's good to see him back on it.
Yeah, definitely. I am curious to see, because obviously we saw Magnus take a little bit of a nerf, both to his Empower as well as his general feel with the talents. So it'd be interesting to see how he plays. I don't think they're enough to make him not viable, but he might not have that ridiculous early game we've seen so often.
Strive harder next time.
Of course, Miracle back on that Night Stalker there with Polison. It's going to be up against Kuko on the Darks here, and Joe Cam on the Tiny. Gonna go for a quick creep pull. I was getting a bit tongue twisted over that one. He'll manage to pull it off, and he does need to, because Sam H is not having a very good lane so far on the Venom. It's been a bit tough already. We'll see Whiteman just really giving it to him on the Warlock.
That's what he was practicing on Roshan, right? Tiny is just a rockier version of Roshan. He was practicing those auto attacks, and it's paying off. Look at Joakim right now. He's taking these orbs of death, rather, from Warlock.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Oh!
Nice toss back. Sam H not going to really be in a position to try and dish any damage out, so Whiteman will be just fine. You know, you were talking about the recent Magnus nerf we just saw, but they've also got the Veno on there that got nerfed. They've got the Tiny that got nerfed on the side of T1. Maybe they didn't read the patch notes. Maybe they just don't care.
None of them were massive though. Like the Venomance awards, obviously they're more expensive, like we saw in the last series. While there's a little bit of a skirmish top, and obviously there's a bit of a nerf on Poison Sting. I don't think either of them are enough to make that hero not great. I think it's just that little step below broken now. But I could be wrong. This is the first time I get to see these two heroes at the same time as well as separated. So this will be what forms our opinion of these two heroes.
So far, everything's going just fine for In Your Dream in that mid lane on the mag. Just farming as per usual. No struggles here up against Carl. Because Carl did opt for the 2-0 and 1 build, so maxing out the Shadow Strike. But it's not really being that effective so far up against In Your Dream. Doesn't really have too much of an opportunity to throw it out.
It is also quite hard. Like, obviously you build so many braces on this hero, and that magic resist does add up. Like, obviously it's not that much on... Oh, sorry, it's the HP regen now. But it makes it harder to push him out of lane. With top lane, Paulison, stuck.
He's in trouble. And this is a really tough lane for the Keeper of the Light, as Zephyr's just going to be able to run you down like this every single time, but he needs one more hit and he can't get it. That's going to be a lot of damage out from that tier 2 tower. Paulison with the Blinding Light still trying for that first blood, but will not be able to get it on Zephyr. They'll both just have to walk away.
Zephyr does take the bad end of that trade there because he has to TP home, and obviously Coddle is quite fast. He's going to walk home. We didn't talk about it much. He went Ring of Basilius, first item on Coddle. A hero that can give mana to his teammates over bot lane.
Yeah, they're in trouble. Jokam, Avalanche Toss is going to be out onto Arbed. They do get the Fatal Bonds off, so you might actually be able to get through the HP pool of Jokam now.
Whack the creeps, Arbed! Whack them all!
Sam H, staying within range. Jokam is falling low, but he will be alright. Surviving on about 70 HP, but I can't say the same about Sam H. It's on the run, but they do have the damage output on Arbed. On the position 1 Sven will take the first blood.
A nice build-up too. He's gone 2-0-1, so he went the 2 levels in Stormhammer exclusively to get kills. I would like to see him start to go back towards that cleave now that he's level 4, but it really put them off guard on T1. They weren't ready for that extra damage.
Good play from Arbed. Because Miracle is also having a very good time with that Night Stalker so far. Just second and last hits, only second to In Your Dream on the mag. And we saw Miracle the other day on this position 1 Night Stalker. Now that time around it did not work out. I'm curious, do you think against the draft of Geek Fam he has a bit of a better chance of getting this Night Stalker to work as a POS 1?
Definitely. I mean, I think it was more, not what they were versing an extremely hard team or a very weak team. I think the big difference here is they've got a Magnus, they've got a Veno, they've got a Tiny. They've got much better AoE damage around it. So he doesn't need to do as much. This Axe build-up that he'll probably go for will feel much nicer in these Wombo combo style drafts. Where before it was, they had 2 single target heroes, both semi-carries. It felt very weird. So I think they've redone their drafting theory, but they want to really stick around this Night Stalker pick.
Jokam going to go for another creep pull down at that bot lane as Sam H is just unable to farm at all on this Venomancer so far. Does lose half the wave. You look at Arbed. He's just farming freely as ever.
Yeah, with the extra kill that he did get, luckily, so the first blood gold pretty solid. He's steering away from the Midas. For the first time in a while, I actually get to say that. Usually we see Svens go almost exclusively Midas, Mask Manus, Echo Saber, and then Axe, BKB, Chrysalis, in whichever order they feel. But he's decided Echo Saber Rush is the way to play this game.
Zephyr gonna chase down Polis again, and looks like this time around Polison should be okay. Zephyr, well, he's slowly closing the gap, but it's just gonna take way too long. So instead, with this Iron Shell, the neutral creeps don't wake up. So
well, he finds Polison anyway.
He does, but the cogs would not trap him in, and In Your Dream was around just in case. The pings are coming out now. You better take that stack ASAP. Zephyr is just continuing to hang around on the clockwork. In Your Dream will go ahead and take care of it as let's soak a bit of XP here, but RP Gonna be committed out of In Your Dream, and they'll just take a very easy kill on that clock.
Yeah, not often do you get a free RP target. You might as well take it. Yes, it's a 2-minute cooldown, but you get him off the map, you get that farm. He doesn't steal the XP, which is probably what he was trying to stay around for. Like, that was a triple stacked hard camp. That's a lot of XP towards T1. And you can see how committed they are. They've put a ward down to defend their own, like, very, very deep internal ward to make sure that they can get this farm.
Well, it's very important, right, for In Your Dream. Like, he's going to be their main source of damage, apart from Miracle. But even then, as a Night Stalker, you're kind of depending on this mid Magnus's. Speaking of mid, Carl does kill off Polison on the Keeper of the Light. Just trying to soak some XP mid, but you can't really do that up against the Quap. Meanwhile, top lane, Zephyr getting a nice Cogs pushback onto Jokam Miracle. Cuckoo will just surge him up, and they'll just both walk out of there.
Is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too flashy on the top lane. I'm surprised there's been 3 kills this game, to tell you the truth. Both these teams are so heavily focused on farming on their cores right now. Like, you can see Magnus, his only kill participation is because Zephyr ran into his head. If it wasn't for that, there would be no kill on Tier 1. And Arbet's the same, really, just AFK farming.
There's a group up mid lane, Miracle.
Okay.
Gonna pop the ulti. Carl in trouble, needs to blink away, but he's gonna be surged. His blink is still on cooldown. Miracle's still on the chase, gets the silence off. Now In Your Dream with the shockwave, gonna pull him back in, and it's a great kill onto that mid swap, and now Cuckoo cannot TP away from Miracle, not during the night. That'll be 2 kills now for the side of T1.
Yeah, very nice opportunity there for In Your Dream and Miracle to fight up again. Neither of them having to commit too much. They did obviously use the Dark Ascension at the start of that fight, but it's all they had to use. And they killed Carl, like you said. This is just nice play from Tier 1, keeping the game at a pace that they actually want to play at.
Arbet actually just spotted them out for a second there, realizing now his jungle was being sieged down by T1. Should be safe for now.
Top tower is under attack.
So Arbet's still working towards that Echo Saber. Not going to have it at too bad of a time. He's been farming very, very well. Geek fam, they just need to hold out until he gets a couple core items up.
Definitely. I mean, he's keeping up with a Magnus. That is a huge, huge statement for a Sven picker. Obviously, Sven has the inbuilt cleave versus, obviously, the spell and power cleave. But both of these heroes just finding everything they want right now.
Cuckoo, be a little cautious here. Jokam looking for an avalanche toss. Cuckoo will be too far away to toss back. You look at Whiteman on that Warlock, about to hit that level 6 mark now, so you do have the Golem coming up very, very soon. In fact, there it is. You start to wonder, do you want to just make a quick smoke hamper with this Golem and try to make a play ASAP? In fact, never mind that, they may have the chance now. 10-minute bounty rune's gonna spawn up, but Geek fam, they think better of it. They'll just leave the bottom runes to be, and that should be a 3-for-1 trade on those bounties.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to see as well, like we talk about Whitemon being level 6, but Clockwork's still level 4. They haven't really prioritized any farm on Zephyr, any levels on Zephyr at all. And like even with empty lanes right now, he's still not playing them. So I'm not sure Zephyr's game plan right now. He even misses the smoke that they just tried to do.
That's a bit unfortunate there for Zephyr. Still going to go in. It's just going to be after this bottom tier 1 tower. So doesn't really have the hookshot to close the gap. You do have the search from Cuckoo if need be. They are going to have a look with the rocket flare through the tree line. Sam H is still there.
Is under attack.
In fact, it looks like the side of T1 are the ones that want to start being aggressive.
Yeah, Jokem's in a good position though. Zephyr
gets an avalanche, but that's going to be it. They do force the TP out of Carl, who does blink forward onto Jokam. Shadow Strike will connect. Still going Carl. Wants to fight this. The Warlock will be dropped. Rather, the Golem will be dropped, but nobody's dead quite yet. And now In Your Dream going to be forced to TP in. They'll get rid of the Golem.
It's a very awkward fight.
Well, now the tier 1 tower is just gone. You can't really defend it without the Golem drop.
Yeah, on the other side, they did
Dire's
obviously
top
use
tower is
Will-O-Wisp.
under attack.
So it was something, some kind of level of trade. But yeah, you're right.
Radiant's
Their
bottom
golem's
tower
down
is
and
under
they're
attack.
running away. They're
Dire's
deciding
top tower has
we'll try to
fallen.
trade the tier 1, obviously
Dire's
force out a
middle
fortify,
tower
do
is under
something,
attack.
slow down the game. And as you can
Radiant's
see,
bottom tower
with
has
Sven, he's
fallen.
farming quite fast, like you said. But no Midas.
Oh, avalanche toss. It's going to be it. It's going to walk back around for the power rune. If it's going to spawn there and he gets unlucky, it is going to be an
Dire's top
arcane
tower
rune up
is
at that
under
top
attack.
rune spot. Still in your dream around the area with that RP available if they so wish to try for it. Jokam still rushing for the arcane, but he is going to go down to Arbit. And Carl is still going to manage to get that power rune, but here comes in your dream with the shockwave and the blinding light. Two heroes going down over an arcane rune, but if you're T1, you're more than happy trading that tiny away, and now they'll pop the Dark Ascension, hookshot out from Zephyr. But that mid-tier 1 tower now, going to be very susceptible to T1 to take.
Yeah, I think this is definitely worth a Dark Ascension. Obviously, Golem's the longest cooldown spell at 170 seconds. So every time Golem's down, you're going to see this kind of play where they're going to try to farm, they're going to try to take more map presence and just really choke out the Sven,
Radiant's
make sure
middle tower
Abed
is
doesn't
under
have the
attack.
game he wants. And so far, at 6.5k net worth, he's pretty much done whatever he wanted. They haven't really slowed him down at all.
He's almost got that Aghanim Scepter coming out. I mean, I say almost, he's still a while off, but maybe a couple minutes, you're looking pretty close here for Arbed.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have that Ags, but also In Your Dream's going to have the Blink first. So it'll be interesting to see if In Your Dream decides to use his RP exclusively on Arbed, if he tries to kill Carl a couple times, because both of those heroes can really snowball into the mid-game, late game quite quickly. And obviously we're seeing a Yule Scepter being built up from Carl, a nice little counter towards the Miracle and Magnus pickups.
A big smoke out. That's 3 for Geek Fam. Through the mid lane, Arbed will start baiting for the team.
Yeah. It's a bit of an awkward bait though, because there's so many wards here. They are farm, obviously 21 gold. And Zephyr going around the side.
They'll go up towards that top lane. They'll go after Jokam. Should be a fairly easy hook to land here. In fact, they won't even need it. Carl, he'll just blink in, but now the avalanche was there from Jokam. They can still get him out of here. The Sonic Wave will be enough for the Shadow Strike. Paulson does commit the Will-O-Wisp, but nice hook shot out from Zephyr going for the secondary. Paulson will not survive. So Cuckoo will take that one on the Darkseer. T1. You saw Miracle, he was slowly walking his way up, but it's not nighttime yet. He needs another 30 seconds.
Yeah, 15 seconds, but he will have the Aghanim Scepter and 1,000 gold, which is going to be quite a big timing for them. We talked about the Ags on Arbed, but we didn't really mention Miracle. He's farming very well as well, and that Ags at Dark Ascension, I mean, Zephyr, he was stuck around too long and dies for it. But these item timings are all coming up around the same area for both sides.
Miracle, gonna TP down bot.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I believe they'll spot out Cuckoo in time. They won't. Geek Fam, they seem very, very set. Just continuing to farm a bit longer, but there's your blink up now in your dream. That Axe, 600 gold away just about for Miracle. So once that Axe is up, you expect it to be go time for T1.
Yeah, it'd be Axe and Blink timing as well. I think Magnus is having the courier deliveries Blink right now. Yeah, it's coming through. So I'll have that Blink, Axe, and then I'll have the Wombo combo with the Will-O-Wisp on top as well. I don't think anyone on Geek Fam is tanky enough to survive that right now. Arbed maybe is the only one, purely off the fact he has so much health right now. That's a lot of strength items. But everyone else will definitely die in that combo.
It's a little intriguing though, Arbed. He decided to switch the Aghanim Scepter for the BKB. Just indicates that Geek Fam want to try and fight back up against T1. It might be the right decision here for Arbed. Jokam
Radiant structures are fortified.
gonna find the power rune that Cuckoo just took. T1 setting up at that bottom tier 2, and we do have some bounties being placed now on Arbed's head.
Radiant's bottom
Aghanim
tower
Scepter
is
up at
under
the
attack.
exact same time for Miracle.
Yeah, Axe at the same time as BKB is not a great trade though. Obviously Arbed counters entirely that Aghanim. the item. But they're going to get tier 2 pretty much for free. That's undefendable.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Another
fallen.
easy tower here for T1. 2k net worth lead now for this Dire end, and Geek fam, they're still just avoiding this Dire side for now. In fact, never mind. They're going to smoke up. A blink is there on the Tiny to make matters worse, though, so T1, they're definitely ready to fight. They do hook shot in onto Jokam. No toss as of yet. Jokam just wants out for now. Sam H gonna go for the Stormhammer. Onto Sam H. Arbet Sonic Wave is massive, but there's a huge RP in the backlines onto 3, and they're looking to clean him up through the wall. Oh, Cuckoo is gone along with Whiteman in your dream, however, falling low to Arbet's damage. Now Sam H chased down again by this Sven. Paulison trying to help with the blinding light, but now Carl jumps in on the Quap. Miracle gonna chase down the Quap. Does he have the silence? Not quite.
They got the Yules, they have the blink, so Miracle shouldn't be able to get this kill, but in your dream, you madman, what are you doing? Oh, that was
Gonna
close.
miss out.
Oh, what a disastrous fight for both sides. They get their ultimates off, but they didn't time it well enough. You talked about that RP, it hit 3 targets, but they weren't able to combine it just enough. Arbed creating all that space in the back line.
You really want Jokam to be available for that RP, right? Just to get in there with the Avalanche follow-up and the toss follow-up, and just wasn't quite enough damage yet.
Yeah. They were about 10 seconds off that. You said Jokam obviously had that blink though. He didn't have it ready for that fight, but Miracle's going to get hit by a pretty free kill here for the bot lane.
Cuckoo top lane as well. Gonna go down to Jokam with the Avalanche toss, but Miracle does go down to Carl on the Queen of Pain. It's a fairly even trade, but that is your POS 1 Night Stalker going down for the sake of a position 3 Darks here.
Yeah, definitely. The only upside is, I mean, Carl getting it is pretty rough, but obviously Arbed getting it would have been way worse. That's the only upside of that trade. But still, this game is so close.
It is.
Both of these teams really came to play, good drafts, good play style, and so far, very solid execution on their play styles.
Another team really making any mistakes here. They have been pretty on point. Arbet, he's going straight back for that Aghanim Scepter now. Once that's up, it's going to be a scary time for T1, because suddenly you've got a Sven that can't be kited anymore. He can initiate every time he wants to. T1.
Oh, the D-Wood in the mid lane. Oh boy, this is what I find funny. When you see stacked styles and you're just like, oh, here's every single neutral item at once.
Yeah.
Just 4 of them dropped at once, where obviously Arbed took Ancients on his side and Miracle took Ancients on his, and just free tier 1s, free tier 2s rather for everyone.
Geek fam just still hugging the western side of the map. Of course, it's the beauty of the Darks here, even with the recent nerfs we saw today, is you can just keep split pushing lanes with no risk.
Dire's top tower
You'd think
is under
T1
attack.
has a bit more of a time limit with their draft, but Jokam gonna get backed in by Cuckoo, and now the wall will be dropped, so Jokam really has no way out of this situation, but he does get the toss off. Won't be enough. Carl still gets the kill on the Quap. What I was about to ask you, Poggy, is T1, should they be playing faster than they are now? Because up against the Sven Quap, even the Darkseer and the Warlock, it does seem like their draft is going to drop off in comparison.
Yeah, definitely. They are waiting on 2 BKBs. I believe that's their massive go window. But I think you're right, like, especially whenever Dark Ascension up, RP is up, obviously Poison over as well. I think they could be making more happen around the map, force out these rotations from Geek Fam. Because like you said, I think Sven will outcarry Miracle's Night Stalker. But both sides are quite even. They both have 1.5 carries. Like between Magnus and Night Stalker versus Sven and Queen of Pain, it's quite close. Obviously Sven being the hard carry. Queen of Pain isn't quite there at the same level, but obviously Empower makes Miracle a hard carry among.
It's a fair point. Mid lane, they're just trying to be disruptive towards the farm of Arbed. It's just really Paulson throwing out the Blinding Light and the Illuminate. But Geek Fam still remaining grouped up. This is really just a 3-protect-1 right now. Like, they've left Cuckoo up the top lane by himself to split push, and everyone else is always just nearby to Abed, making sure if he gets jumped, they're able to counter-initiate every single time.
Radiant are scanning.
And perhaps now's the time. He does have the axe coming out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens here, because that axe is meant to be a massive window, but they're only probably going to find Jokam here, if anyone. Like, obviously Jokam's the one playing in like the absolutely suicidal positions.
Yeah.
Because he's the tiny, he can eat those ganks, he's not too worried about it.
Could be some bad timing to boot, though. In Your Dream just got his BKB up on the Magnus.
So did Miracle.
That, suddenly that Aghanim Scepter on the Sven
Dire are
be
scanning.
somewhat useless up against these cores, but he is going to go in onto Sam H first. Does back off after the avalanche was there from Jokam. In Your Dream, thinking about a skewer, but won't try just yet onto Abed. He'll hold out.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, obviously they're going to smoke behind. The Rocket's not going to find anyone, so it might give Geek Fam a false sense of security about what's about to happen. But Zephyr's the pick here, and that's all you're going to find?
Just tops in Miracle, and they'll just settle for what they can get. The clock's still going to run. Zephyr,
Are they even going to get him?
he's trying to hookshot out, and he does. Hookshot onto Carl. But
Oh,
Whiteman is caught on the Warlock, so you're still going to lose this position 5 Warlock.
Dire's top tower. is
Carl's
under
actually
attack.
just blocking the tree line and make sure this Clockwork can't get caught out. But now Cuckoo has been spotted by Miracle, and a great toss back into the ERP from Jokam.
Dire's
That'll be 2 more. Carl does get the Yules off in time, but cannot blink out in time. And Zephyr, well, it all started with him, and it all ends with him. He's the 4th hero to go down here for Geek Fam as T1.
Radiant structures are
Just looking
fortified.
kind of unstoppable.
Yeah, that is a scary team fight.
Yeah.
Like, you just saw they're just going to throw Miracle in, especially during nighttime as well, because once you throw him in, that extra range, that extra vision on the Ascension pretty much means no one can run away from it. He saw everyone. Obviously, Cuckoo was trying to hide in the trees, didn't quite get away with that. It's just great team fight from Tier 1 to keep themselves ahead in this game, and hopefully make Abed a bit scared where he is farming.
Abed's been farming quite fearlessly for now and still going, but looks like he's just going to start working towards that AC now on this Sven. It's getting to that point for Geek Fam where it does feel like he really needs to just drag this out to the later stages of the game and be that really, really hard carry.
It is quite a worry though, once his BKB gets lower, obviously he hasn't had to pop it yet.
Hook shot in from Zephyr. He is going to be surrounded. Sam H still going to be fine, and Jokam goes for a very easy toss back onto Zephyr. So that's your Clockwork gone. Still Abed, do you want to fight this? He'll turn back around to Sam H. They'll drop the Golem, but it's just not going to be enough. Abed cannot close the gap on Sam H, or maybe he can with the Stormhammer, but now the toss away from Jokam.
That's sick.
But Jokam's still in trouble. Abed popped the BKB and he does get the Tiny. Here comes Miracle, however, with the silence. In Your Dream, he got Whiteman. Now this Quap in massive, massive trouble. Still trying to run away. Carl, he can knock it out in time. Miracle, he got the Void off, and Cuckoo will also die. And once again, the only person to survive was Abed.
Yeah, I mean, these tosses so far on Jokam are absolutely game-winning. I don't think I'm underselling him or overselling him right now.
Oh, fantastic.
They're ridiculous. Like, he's saving his teammates. Yes, he died for that one, but he set up the Zephyr kill comfortably. Saved Sam H, who, by the way, has a halberd. So he's pretty tanky himself and very useful against Abed. So. And then it's doing everything right. This is the kind of tiny supports that make me want to see more nerfs.
Yeah. He's making it look great. T1, they're making this draft look great. 9k net worth lead now. Miracle, he's got him to a basher.
And we're going to see a replay. Look at that toss! That's just beautiful.
Yeah. Sam H able to survive till the end of the team fight.
Yeah, this is great what they do to Cuckoo as well. Right as he's about to blink, they actually use the Void to kill him. That sets up the kill. Obviously, Cuckoo trying to save his teammate, make sure he doesn't have Surge. He dies for it as well.
In Your Dream. Chase down here from Zephyr.
This is
Just
not
turn
the point you
around
want to
and
go on, Zephyr.
just start hitting him. In Your Dream, he does have the RP. You do have to be be just a slight bit cautious if you are the side of Geek Fam at the moment. It's Miracle even going to come in now on the Night Stalker. Zephyr just going to hang around the cogs, but in your dream, we'll just jump straight in the middle of all of them and take out that clockwork.
As far as deaths go for Zephyr right now, that's probably one of the better ones. You use Dark Ascension. They are going to commit the top, the high ground though. So you might lose a bit of your tier 3 while the rest of this Dark Ascension goes.
Yeah, Miracle, he's just feeling very, very confident. You still have the BKB up on the Night Stalker. He just does not care.
Yeah, both that BKB not being used, Arbed's only been used once, and obviously, so Arbed's has been used twice, and in your dreams only once. These BKB purchases are really deterring a lot of this team fight. All these supports are just copying all the spells instead.
Geek Fam, what do they do now? Do we just sit back and farm up these BKBs? Carl is T1 even?
He is far away though. Oh boy.
Yeah.
He did go for the Shivas first, which armor will keep him alive quite a bit. But right now, if Miracle gets on top of him, he dies every time. We've seen it in the last 3 team fights. And it's only going to get worse too, because we're seeing the power of Double Void using Polison's Chakra Magic. It's a lot of damage, it's a lot of slow, and it's all AoE.
T1, they found the big one. That's Arbed, but no, they go after the Warlock. Perhaps not spotting out Arbed. They do still pick up a great kill in Whiteman. That might be a Roshan here for T1. In fact, it is. Miracle just going to run straight into there. Geek Fam, can they afford to let this one go? Do they even have a choice?
They have no choice. Without Golem right now, if they try to fight and they cop any type of pre-warning on T1, they get wiped.
They're smoking. They're going to try and rush it, but I believe it might be too late. Aegis is going to go the way of T1. Miracle will take it on the Night Stalker, and now they look to rush back in onto Geek Fam. They are going to run straight into the smoke side of Geek Fam, but they don't seem afraid of it. Miracle just keeps going now with the Crippling Fear activated. They'll use him up. Geek Fam, do you want to reinitiate?
They
No?
kind of have to fight here. Obviously, we can see the ward on the Geek Fam hill. They don't want to let this ward go, because right now they have all the vision in the fight. They can play around it.
Jokam going to go in again onto Whiteman. Hookshot not going to land from Zephyr. They do at least get the Golem down, but Whiteman is almost certainly dead to Miracle. And now the Will-O-Wisp bound. Arbed needs to try and kite out of this team fight, but in your dream, he does skewer RP. The Sven is still very, very tanky, but he's starting to get surrounded. Or maybe he's going to fight back Arbed. He'll try to man fight this one. Or no, he won't. He'll run. And so will Miracle. Carl sticking around that boundary rune spot. Jokam will toss him up in the air, and Miracle on a triple kill now on the Night Stalker.
Yeah, Zephyr obviously being that 3rd kill with that buyback coming through. Just a bad fight all around. T1 though, they're playing these fights so exceptionally. You can see Miracle just frontlines, doesn't care. He obviously has to use one of the greater Fairy Fire charges. Not the biggest loss in the world. But outside of that, nothing massive had to be used. Just BKBs, a few ultimates, and Geek Fam had to use everything as well, including a buyback.
He's almost got the Abyssal Blade up on this Night Stalker to boot. In fact, there it is. So now you've really got some guaranteed lockdown here for this Night Stalker. And it only gets tougher and tougher for Geek Fam. You're still kind of looking towards Arbed to be able to carry them through this game. But he's just having so many troubles, or so much trouble in these team fights.
Yeah, it's quite hard when 2 carries are out farming you. 2 strength carries, no less. So you can't burst one of them down pre-fight. I mean, Miracle has 3,500 health, and so does In Your Dream just over 3k. Neither of those are dying to a crit, which is what Arbed's build is right now. The Daedalus trying to 2-shot his opponents. It's just quite hard to do. It will get easier once these BKBs get a bit lower. But until then, T1 need to just win these fights comfortably as they are. And Geek Fam just need to avoid them with every ounce of their body.
That's what they're trying to do. Daedalus now up on Arbed, so even more damage on this Sven. Still feels like he needs more. He'll go after the AC next.
Yeah, There's only a couple more minutes left on this Aegis, so I'll be curious to see what they do. Obviously, no nighttime, but they
Dire's
do
top
have the
tower
Dark
is
Ascension.
under
They have the Abyssal, like we mentioned. I thought this would be go time for Tier 1, but they're really being cautious here. They're slowly pushing in the lanes. They're going to drown out Geek Fam, force them to have to defend this Tier 2 in the mid lane.
They might just feel like there's no rush. I mean, even with the spend in the game,
Dire's top
just
tower
at the
is
rate
under
they're
attack.
farming, with the 14k net worth lead, they must be feeling quite
Radiant's
confident.
middle tower
Of course,
is
In
under
Your Dreams
attack.
hitting like an absolute truck right now on this Magnus. Those nerfs today apparently meant nothing to In Your Dream.
Radiant's middle
They weren't
tower
massive
has fallen.
nerfs, to tell you the truth.
Skewer, Arbed has been spotted, a great shockwave, RP. Not going to be used, but they got the avalanche from Jokam, and now the RP's out from In Your Dream. They have plenty of damage output out for Arbed.
Dire's top tower
No
is under
BKB
attack.
usage there. He has no buyback either. They obviously won't know this yet on T1. But I see no reason why they don't just go high ground forcing out the buyback that doesn't exist. That's
Miracle.
exactly what they're going to do.
Just force the high ground, see
Jokam?
what he does.
Oh.
A great avalanche toss out once again onto Cuckoo. This Darkseid, he's going to surge away, but it's not going to be enough. Miracle
Is under attack.
had the Abyssal available.
Dire's top tower
And
is
man,
under
you've got to give props to Jokam.
Can I preemptively crown a most valuable player for game 1?
Get him the car.
Just I mean, maybe that's too far for game
Maybe-
for one
maybe
game.
it's a little bit far.
Jokam's been playing pretty well this tournament, but well and truly
Radiant's middle
well and
tower
truly
is
too
under
easy,
attack.
too soon to give him just a straight. Like, he is a card
Yeah.
for being a roller boy that is tiny. But right now, he is my MVP of game 1.
He's doing a great job.
And this is going to be 2 Raxes. Obviously, by now they know Arbed has no
Radiant's bottom
buyout.
tower has
They're
fallen.
gonna back off.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Curious.
Well, respawn's up very, very soon for Geek Fam.
Oh, Roche is Aegis in 5 seconds.
Well, they've also got a double damage rune down bot. Aegis is about to expire. I don't know, you just maybe grab the DD, see if you can kind of reinitiate here onto Geek Fam. Not to mention, Pog, nighttime's about to start again in about a minute 15.
True, they won't have the DD for nighttime, but they still have the Dark Ascension, which will cover more than half of that time before night.
It's very nice.
I mean, right now, I think you said it perfectly. T1 team seem to be in no rush. They're quite casually walking around the jungle. They're enjoying the sights, they're enjoying the creeps, and every so often they'll just find a stray Arbed and just clean him up.
Do it with flair.
Arbed, though, he is going for an AC, so once that AC comes through, he'll be a bit harder to kill. But we saw how quickly he got cleaned up without that BKB.
That
Radiant's
seems to be
bottom
the idea
barracks
here
are
for
under
Geek Fam.
attack.
It's just all about survival. Just surviving the initial onslaught of T1, and if you can get through those big ultis initially, then you could probably just start to fight back. The problem is, every time In Your Dream commits the RP, or we see the Dark Ascension from Miracle, the fight's over so quick. For Geek Fam, they don't actually have a chance to fight back. So they can just survive the initial wave of skills. And well, we're going to find out now if they can, because there is going to be a smoke out.
Yeah, smoke for nighttime. Obviously, the bounty runes are going to come out. I'd like to think Geek Fam was smarter than they're going to get picked off, but Zephyr's
Zephyr
first to
has
go.
been spotted. Avalanche toss from Jokam, but no, they want the Darkseid Cuckoo. He's still alright. The Golem drop, but the RP out from In Your Dream. He's caught 3 of them again. That is going to be a wipe. Arbed and Zephyr are gone. Carl, he'll get stunned up. In fact, that was Cuckoo getting stunned up by Miracle. And Whiteman, he'll try to run, but the Avalanche is going to connect from Jokam.
Yeah, they're out.
They've called it. GG. And T1, that is a very dominant game number 1 from them.
A clean and dominant performance. It wasn't just the Geek Fam making mistakes. T1 were almost perfect.